those remarks among just your Republican colleagues?
Well, you know, obviously we're going to continue to work the deal as we go back to the Hill. But I think the president is sending a clear signal. He wants to get something done for the American people, and for fixing American broken tax code is mission #1 right now, Neil.
All right. Now, Congressman, I mean, your colleagues in the House, many in the Freedom Caucus who were working on an across-the-board plan that included the wealthy, how do you think they're going to feel about this? We know Kevin Brady, the House Ways and Means chief, was coming up with a plan that would have across-the-board tax cuts, very Reagan-esque, very similar to what he concocted, you know, 30-plus years ago. What do you think?
Well, Neil, obviously, I still support cutting the taxes across the board. But if it means we have to negotiate to get to a deal, I think what you saw today was a president who's leading for the American people. And that's what it's about, getting the deal done for the people we represent back home, not worrying about the extremes on either side of the parties.
What's interesting, too, Congressman, to your point, is this does ensure that you're going to get more bipartisan support. And maybe in the Senate, easily 60 votes, I would think. But what do you think?
Well, I hope so. And the more votes we can get together, the stronger we are, because the legislation that last has broad support of the country. Building it from the middle out, to me, has always been the wise course to take. And today, I think you see a commitment. The president wants to get it done for the American people, and that's what we came to Washington to do. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I think tax reform took a great step forward today.
Was anything discussed, sir, or can you share with us about, you know, writing off your state income taxes in expensive states like yours? In New York, of course, that's a very big issue. I'm sure a concern of yours. Is that deduction protected or on the chopping block?
Well, I will respect the conversations I've had with the president and the conversation I had with the president today, and keep that private between him and I.
But you can whisper it to me. You can whisper it, whatever you want.
I appreciate that, Neil. But what that will be, that's part of the process of building this sausage that we're going to have to build for the legislation that the tax reform is going to be. But at the end of the day, I am confident we can bridge those differences. We can accomplish the goals of that state and local tax deduction that are in the tax code today, and we can get it done and do it on a permanent basis for all of America to reap the rewards thereof.
So I just want to be clear, sir, because when I talked to many in your party on both the Senate and the House side, they had taken it as a given that the president was on board for tax cuts with everyone, like the Reagan tax cuts, like the Bush-era tax cuts, even going back to the JFK tax cuts that were enacted after he sadly was assassinated, but that everyone got those rates. No one was left out. This bipartisan agreement, assuming it's going that right, and I see no reason to argue your point, this will be done with a very significant group left out. You are comfortable with that?
Well, because we're also going to bring simplicity in the code, and that goal in and of itself will be very helpful to the folks that may not receive that tax cut that we're trying to still advocate for, but moving in the direction to build that coalition of the governing.
All right.
And at the end of the day, that's going to benefit a tremendous amount of people across the nation also.
All right. Congressman, with your Democratic counterparts who were there, the 8 of them, including one, by the way, who's considering challenging Senator Flake in Arizona, were they receptive to what they were hearing from the president?
I think there was a refreshing change of the atmosphere as we left that meeting, as we walked in that meeting. We came here to get things done as members of Congress, and the American people expect us to do that. This gives us the opportunity to do it.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Congressman. We appreciate it. We've had a crazy day. Congressman Tom Reed, beautiful state of New York. That is a big development, my friends. Of course, we have been telling you about this and anticipating this on both Fox News and Fox Business, this idea that the President of the United States was going to change the math and the equation a little bit here to ensure more Democratic support. This could explain part of the agreement he had with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi a week ago to raise the debt ceiling, tie it to hurricane aid, and now the second step of that process, the tranche, if you will, to meet with them again tonight for dinner at the White House, with the idea being, look what I've done. I'm not doing anything for the very, very rich, not a single dollar. Will you bring me and deliver me Democratic votes for tax reform, or at the very least tax cuts? He has now seemingly assured, yes, he has. Tax cuts now, the way this president envisions them, are all but a done deal. We'll have more after this.
Here is something big banks don't want you to know about your IRA or 401k. Store your retirement at home. With the Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRA, you can transfer your current IRA or 401k into approved physical gold and silver coins. No management fees, no depository fees, and you have direct physical control over your IRA because your IRA gold and silver coins will be delivered to your door with free shipping and free insurance. You can store approved coins in your safe at home or in a safety deposit box at your local bank. Augusta Precious Metals is the leader in home delivery gold IRAs. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, AA from the BCA, gold and silver have been the family business for over 40 years. Call 800-345-4IRA for our free guide to Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRAs and discover how you can get up to $2,000 in silver free. If you can't hold it, do you really own it?
Your brain changes as you get older, but Prevagen helps your brain with an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Hi, I'm Barry Sloan with NewTek, your business solutions company. Does your business need money? Whether you need $10,000 or $10 million, you can count on NewTek, the nation's largest non-bank government-guaranteed lender. NewTek can help your business expand and grow. With a simple phone interview, we can pre-qualify you in just 48 hours. And with rates as low as 6%, you can see why so many businesses turn to NewTek. To see how easy getting a loan can be, contact NewTek, your business solutions company, today.
This is a story about mail and packages, and it's also a story about people. And while we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, we never forget that your business is our business. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
With my moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I kept looking for ways to manage my symptoms. I thought I was doing okay. Then it hit me. Managing was all I was doing. When I told my doctor, I learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of moderate to severe Crohn's disease, even after trying other medications. In clinical studies, the majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Just managing your symptoms? Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
All right, the president and First Lady Melania Trump are headed tomorrow to Naples, Fort Myers. They want to check out the damage in Florida, just as they did in Texas. Fox News Channel's Mike Tobin is saying, you know, they might be surprised by some of the damage they're likely to encounter. He's in Marco Island, Florida right now. What does it look like there, my friend?
Well, a lot of damage around here and a lot of cleanup really happening at a frenzied pace out here. As far as the president's visit, we know that he's coming to this area really through the press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and not a lot of details beyond the fact that he's coming to the Naples-Fort Myers area, presumably like he did at Harvey. He's going to come down in support of the people who have been impacted by the storm and the federal workers and other workers who are trying to help people get back on their feet. Now, there is a terribly sad story coming up from across the state in Hollywood, Florida, and that is out of the Rehabilitation Center of Hollywood Hills. 6 people have passed away. According to the Hollywood Police Chief Thomas Sanchez, temperatures became brutal on the 2nd floor of this facility after the power and the air conditioning went out. The patients there were elderly or sick, so the first responders were called in. When they arrived, 3 people had already passed away while they were tending to the people who were in bad shape. 2 of them passed away there at the facility. Another passed away while they were being transported to another facility. So it's terribly, terribly sad and being treated now as a criminal investigation. Supplies are still a premium. Gas is out all over the state, and you've got this remarkable phenomenon, presumably with people who are looking at their apps, finding out which gas stations have fuel. They pile on these gas stations. The line will stretch a quarter mile or more, and when the tank runs dry, they all race to another facility. So you see these lines about every 5 miles all across the state. Some people don't have enough gas to go wait in line. The other order of the day is the restoration of power. Starting out the day, 3.5 million people across the state without power. Here in Marco Island, some 40%
of the power had been restored. They've got a goal of 75% by the end of the day. This is one example of a power line that is down. Step one, you get the tree crew out here, and that's what these guys are doing right now. You got to get the tree off of the power line, and then in this case, the crew from Lee County Power is going to come out here. They check to see if the line is hot, and they restore. Presumably, they're going to put in another pole, restore the line, and you've got so many people we've heard throughout the day further on down this peninsula who want so badly to get the refrigerators working and the air conditioning back on, and the lights on as well. Neil?
All right, thank you very, very much, Mike Tobin. Again, the President and the First Lady will be visiting Florida tomorrow. This as the estimates for Irma continue to soar, just as the estimates for the cleanup after Harvey in Texas continue to soar. That storm at $200 billion. This one could equal that. Celebrities doing their part to help foot the bill and help folks out. But did some of them shoot themselves in the foot? We're on it after this.
This program is brought to you by Synedrin Complete Joint Health, featuring Immunidrin.
As a Hall of Fame coach, I know it takes the right combination of ingredients to win championships. Synedrin, powered by Immunidrin, is the most complete joint health supplement on the market today, combining 6 leading ingredients to make the best formula possible. Whether you're a weekend warrior or on your feet all day, why settle for less? Have the best with Synedrin Complete Joint Health. Results guaranteed.
Buy one, get one free this week only at Walgreens.
I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance with Geico.
Huh. I should take a closer look at Geico.
Geico can help with way more than car insurance. Boats, homes, motorcycles, even umbrella coverage.
This guy's gonna wish he brought his umbrella. Fire at will!
How'd you know the guy's name is Will?
Yeah.
It's an expression. You know, fire at will? You never heard of that?
Oh, there goes Will.
Bye, Will.
That's not his name.
Take a closer look at Geico. Great savings and a whole lot more.
Long live effort. With a legendary Hemi engine or a powerful proven Cummins turbo diesel engine, it's capable of carrying on great American traditions. Hurry in for a $1,000 Power Days bonus cash on powerful Ram trucks.
Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months on all 2017 Ram 1500 models.
Tennis training has evolved in really weird ways. Just ask the Bryan brothers. The Izod Performance Stretch Chino with SportFlex expandable waistband.
In just days, Publishers Clearinghouse will be ready to award $1,000 a day for life. Don't miss your last chance to win. Hurry, enter at PCH.com before it's too late. October 13th, you could win $1,000 a day for life. Don't miss out.
Look, Grandpa.
Wow, what a monster.
No, it's you.
Thank you, VSP.
Love every masterpiece with a variety of lens enhancements.
Grandma?
With VSP individual vision plans. See better for life for less.
This is all of us. Grandma, look.
Wow.
Grandma, there's another one.
Thank you, VSP.
See the wonder. Keep your eye health the top priority with a VSP individual vision plan.
That's a beautiful
See
one.
better for life for less.
Not again. I'm always in the bunker. Oh, thank you, VSP.
Follow through with the same vision plan employers offer direct to you. VSP individual vision plans. See better for life for less.
Wow, thank you, VSP.
See stunning views with Vision Care's lowest out-of-pocket costs. Call, click, or ask your broker for a VSP individual vision plan today.
All right, well, they meant well. A lot of celebrities getting political at a hand-in-hand hurricane relief telethon last night. Here are some examples.
This is not fake news. Climate change is real, and we have to help our government see that.
The effects of climate change are playing out around the world every day.
Anyone who believes that there is no such thing as global warming must be blind or unintelligent. Lord, please save us all.
How about just raising the money, helping the folks out in need, and spare the lectures. So I'm going to go to the comedian and my friend Joe Piscopo on this. Was that really necessary? Whatever your views on climate change, whatever your views on all the other political dust-ups we've had, what do you think?
Oh, it was great. This is not fake news. I was like, you know, give me a break. You raise the money, be grateful, and at this time, with all the trouble that's been going on, Neil, Texas, Florida, the news coming out of Florida just today, can't you just put the politics aside? Plus, the argument isn't authentic. It's a flawed theory because the climate change regulations were in play for the last 8 years. So if you're going to blame anybody, let's blame who was there the last 8 years. I'm just saying. And I don't want to blame anybody. Let's raise the money. You know, Jerry Lewis did it the best. He did the telethon. He didn't politicize anything. He raised $2.5 billion, rest his soul, and we all went home happy helping out the kids. And that's the way it should be now, Neil Cavuto.
Yeah, well, I remember Jerry Lewis would say, I wanted to get money from Democrats and Republicans alike, so I wasn't about to try to offend them. And leaving aside the possibility you're offending the very folks you're trying to help, many of whom might not be so caught up in this climate change thing, just that for the first time in a dozen-plus years, they suffered a pretty serious thing, and they don't need the lectures. They just need the help.
We're so sick of the lectures, man, and that's why I think the president got elected, Neil, because, and I say it every morning on the radio on AM 970, thanks, Neil, it's like the audience, we don't want to be lectured anymore. We're told what to do. We're told that we're racist, you know, and when the celebrities say something, you know what? There's a great line that the great Chaz Palminteri in The Bronx Tale wrote for the character Sonny. Remember he said? And he was talking to the young kid C in The Bronx Tale, and Chaz went, "Nobody cares. Nobody cares." Am I right? You know, and Chaz was right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Why did it? You know, you are part of this celebrity culture. I mean, you're one of the greatest veterans of Saturday Night Live.
No, please.
And I'm just thinking. Now, obviously, there's a great temptation to sort of state your political points of view. But I must say, the vast majority of entertainers last night opted not to do that.
That's right.
So I mentioned a couple who did. But it doesn't have a place like this. Save the lectures for later. Just raise the money now. I mean, even when they did that We Are the World thing, they spared the lectures and just raised the dough.
That's a great analogy. No, I'm not, please, celebrity. Yeah, give me a break. I'm not on the A list. I'm not on the B list. I'm not even on the wait list at Hollywood.
You, my friend, are the original Sinatra. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what the old man said, Frank Sinatra said? He said, you know what? The only thing my audience expects out of me is a good performance. And that's the way it should be for celebrities everywhere. And I come to you like a radio host, man, every morning with this great audience that we've garnered on AM 970. They don't want to hear me lecture. And when I see something happening and I have to decipher what is really fake news a lot of the time, I'm like a translator in the morning on the radio. But I always turn to the radio audience, Neil, and I go, help me out here. I don't know. I'm not the final word. I humbly submit this. Now you help me out. But when they have that pompous attitude, they know all. This is the way it is. You know what this means in Italian, Neil? You know,
I do. You don't have to go there. I was thinking of you because if the late, great Rodney Dangerfield were alive today raising money, I don't think he'd be doing any of this, which leads me to your Rodney Dangerfield.
I'll tell you, I'm okay now, but last week I was in rough shape. I'll tell you. I ain't gonna say anything about politics. Just send the money. I'm all right. I'm okay.
But you're right about this, Joseph. The vast majority did do that, did stick to that, whatever your view. And then a lot of people say, well, the climate change, what's going on, has led to this. There are many others who say, well, it took a fine time to evidence itself after a dozen quiet years of hurricane activity. But there was that temptation. What is it in the mindset of your buddies there that among some is a great temptation to lecture?
I don't know, holier than thou, I think. A lot of people have fooled themselves when you hear folks from, and forgive me not to politicize it here, but the big topic on the radio this morning was ESPN calling the President of the United States a white supremacist. I mean, really, do we need to hear this? You know, and then, I mean, I said on the radio, Neil, I mean, not to push buttons here, but I mean, when Barack Obama was in, I thought it was so cool that we had a black American as a President of the United States. I thought that was great. And he put in his cabinet people from his community, black Americans, African Americans. I was so proud as an American. I didn't say, oh, he's a black supremacist. You know, the celebrities, they do get full of themselves. And I know on ESPN, I know the gal, maybe she meant well. Her, she's a very popular show. We don't need the lectures. We are tired of being lectured. I'm not a racist. Oh my God, we are the disenfranchised. You and me, Neil, and now with this new tax plan, with the salary you make, Neil, it's going to hit you pretty hard.
Really, we had to go there. I was thinking of you with that.
I'm just saying.
All right, I'm just saying. All right, my friend, thank you very much. Words to live by, though. Just help out and save the finger pointing for another day, another time. Thank you, my friend. Does excellent impressions. That's for another visit. All right, they still have most of the Florida Keys, these people who desperately need help, just like in Texas. A lot of them still dealing with a lot of water in both states. So where's the help for those folks? Where's the help for the restaurant owner who stuck it out and is right now staying in her home? Where's hope for her after this?
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need cash? You need to know about the New Day 100 Home Loan for Veterans. It lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, not just 80%. And that can mean a lot more money for you and your family. With our military service, veterans like us have earned a valuable VA benefit, the right to apply for a VA home loan. The New Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgages, consolidate your credit card debt, put cash in the bank, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. And New Day will even pay your appraisal fee. That could save you up to $500 or more. So call New Day USA. They look at your whole financial picture, not just your credit score. And they'll do everything they possibly can to get you approved. Call them today.
Refinance for up to 100% of your home's value. Go to newdayusa.com or call New Day USA now at 1-855-429-4866.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
I'm here for an important reason. Colon cancer screening. There's a bunch of places where screening wouldn't be easy. Like here. Or here. Nope. But here's a place you can screen for colon cancer anytime with Cologuard, in private, without any special prep. There really is no place like home.
Cologuard is not right for everyone, so ask your doctor if it's right for you.
I mean, I was a New Yorker. New York got hit. I just heard the call, and simple as that. And I just walked right into a recruiter station. I didn't think twice about it. I was in basic training like 3 weeks later.
Just right there and then, I left and I got into actual Marine Corps.
That's right, keep rocking. The SiriusXM free listening event might be over, but you can turn us back on with packages starting at $6.99 a month plus fees. Just visit SiriusXM.com/GetSXM to keep hearing all the things that make you love taking a long way home. So visit SiriusXM.com/GetSXM or call 1-844-479-6669 to turn us back on and up.
The president is having dinner tonight with Nancy Pelosi and, well, Chuck Schumer. And he telegraphed exactly the opening appetizer. No tax cut for the rich. How do you think that'll go down after this?
Do you know which investment could be your best performer this year? Stocks, real estate, bonds? None of the above. It's silver. This year, it's already up over 12%, and many experts say silver is set to soar to new record highs.
I think silver's going to $200 an ounce.
Call now to get this free report. First-time callers also get this free 1-gram silver bar.
If I could only invest in one thing, it'd be silver. Silver is running out. It's in short supply. It is one of the greatest investments you could have right now.
Call Deer Capital for your free report, The Case for $200 Silver. See why silver could skyrocket 50% this year, why financial experts and investment banks are hoarding silver at today's low price, and how silver can help protect your savings from global turmoil. Ask how you can get up to $600 in free silver. This offer ends soon. Call 1-800-856-4600. 1-800-856-4600. Call now.
Right now we have total devastation from about the 70-mile marker to the probably south about the 15-mile marker. It looks like a nuclear bomb went off.
It is still a mess in the Keys. That is an understatement. To a resident there who stayed and rode out the hurricane, on the phone with us, the general manager of the Bayside Inn in Key Largo, Io Randall. Io, thank you very much for coming. How you doing now?
We're doing a little better. We got some power. Never lost our water. You know, some of our businesses have opened. You know, we're definitely a strong community.
Well, I have no doubt about that. Now, when you were holed up during the storm, you stayed on the facility, right? Did you have any guests at the time?
I actually had CBS with us. I'm sorry, CBS, Fox, and 14 other local families that stayed with us during that time. There was a lot of news media who were stranded.
Well, good for you. I hope our Fox guys were neat and cleaned up after themselves. I worry sometimes when they're out there. But
they went perfect, gentlemen. It went I mean, I can't say they went perfect. We got a lot of landscaping damages. These buildings are built tough is the reason why I stayed. And I also knew that our residents weren't allowed to come in soon after, and the people who were here would need to be available to help, which we have been able to do throughout this entire time. I mean, I had people coming in Saturday to look for rooms, and, you know, Sunday right after the storm, where none of the hotels even now are open. So we're definitely providing a service. I do have a FEMA, you know, evacuee coming in tomorrow, too.
Is that right? What made you stay at the outset? I mean, I'm sure many urged you to leave along with your guests. Why not?
I knew that the building that I manage is pretty safe. I've been managing this place for 5 years. We are actually Cat 5 wind rated. And most buildings here are built that way because we get storms, you know, squalls like this without it being hurricanes, not to this extent, but they do have to withstand, you know, high wind here. So here's the thing. If you did not fly out of Florida on Wednesday or Thursday, did you see the madness it was to get out? People were abandoning cars and the gas shortages. I could not imagine myself being on the road and stuck in this storm.
They still say it's a mess. Some of our aerial shots and drone coverage we've been getting of the region, it just looks awful there. So there's a lot of rebuilding to do, I imagine, huh?
Yeah, there is. You know, I've seen the help come from as far as LAPD. There are convoys in here every day, search and rescue. The response is amazing. You know, and Keys-wide, there's businesses donating their time and services, to, I'm sorry, it's like 3 days no sleep, of services to help the community. It's already on Facebook. If you need this, you need that, we will take care of you. So, like I said, we're literally 106 miles of inhabited land island. We all know each other. We're going to get through this together.
I have no doubt. You're very generous. Thank you very much. My best to you and everyone there holding down the fort. Io Randall, Bayside Inn, the general manager there. Can you imagine doing all that? I have people here. I got to take care of them. Fox News Channel, Matt Finn right now in Cudjoe Key with more on what he's seeing around his neck of the woods. Matt.
Neil, we basically did a tour of some of the Keys today, leaving Miami and driving more than 100 miles south on the famous Route 1. We've ended up here at Cudjoe Key in this trailer park, and as you can see, there is just a lot of destruction and damage here. Some trailer parks or some trailer homes obliterated, and just like a tornado, one survives, and then the one across the street is just smashed to smithereens. And it seems like the destruction in the Keys starts to get worse as you hit the city of Marathon, and then south of that where we are now, there are boats tossed around like toys, mangled, piled up. There are trailer parks just smashed, businesses destroyed. And in Marathon, there was actually a sign-in sheet for people who stayed to let loved ones know they are safe. And there's also a list of boats that have been recovered. Now, throughout the Keys, there are still roadblocks up. Authorities just not letting residents in, just not safe enough. Although right now, Neil, it would be very uncomfortable, if not miserable, to be here. There's not a lot of electricity around, limited food, and very high heat right now. Neil, back to you.
Oh, I cannot imagine. Matt, thank you very, very much, Matt Finn. All right, well, the president is going to be visiting that region, but ahead of that, he had a little bit of surprise for both Democrats and Republicans, not on what he plans to do for Florida, but what he plans to do for taxpayers. Everyone's getting a tax cut, except maybe his rich base, and maybe that's exactly what he intended. Reaction from a Freedom Caucus member, because Dave Bratt is here. Next.
It's easy to get beautiful hardwood flooring for your home with great deals from Lumber Liquidators. This week, get solid pre-finished hardwood, customer favorite copper Havea, and more from just $2.99. Plus, get waterproof flooring up to 47% off, more from 39 cents, and special financing. Hurry, get to Lumber Liquidators today.
It's not just a car. It's your daily retreat. Go ahead. Spoil yourself. The ES and ES Hybrid. Experience amazing.
Have you been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic spine conditions? Are you ready to find lasting relief? Call Laser Spine Institute, the nation's leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain, and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery.
Call 1-800-560-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Take your first step in joining over 60,000 patients who found lasting relief at Laser Spine Institute.
My boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-800-560-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
Burn fat and lose weight fast with the brand new South Beach Diet. Lose 5 pounds in your first week. South Beach Diet is a low-carb, low-sugar, high-protein program that transforms your metabolism and gets your body to burn fat.
I lost 22 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
11 million people use the South Beach Diet book to lose weight. Now we've made it foolproof. Order your 4-week program today with fully prepared meals delivered to your door. Breakfasts, lunches, dinners, even snacks. It's safe and healthy, easy to follow, great value, and it works.
I lost 24 pounds on the South Beach Diet.
Order your 4-week plan now and receive a week of our all-new South Beach Complete Shakes free. They're packed with 20 grams of protein each, low in sugar, a good source of antioxidants and omega-3s. Supply probiotics with no artificial anything, plus they taste great. Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose 5 pounds in your first week. You can do it. Take the first step right now.
Call 855-914-SAND or visit southbeachdiet.com and get 1 week of shakes free.
It can detect a threat using AI and respond 60 times faster. It lets you know where your data lives down to the very server. It keeps your insights from prying eyes so they're used by no one else but you. It is the cloud. The IBM Cloud. The cloud that's built for your business, designed for your data. Secure to the core. The IBM Cloud is the cloud for enterprise, yours.
All right, a sweeping tax cut that even Democrats can love. Well, we might get the first hints of that when the president sits down with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi for dinner at the White House tonight. House Freedom Caucus member, Virginia Congressman Dave Bratt, on the deal, or at least what we make of it right now or hear of it. Congressman, what we hear, and it's very good to have you, sir, is that it will not include a tax cut for the wealthy, most likely. How do you feel about that?
I actually wish I knew about that deal, and that's precisely the problem. I'm on the Budget Committee, and we don't know any details. It's not like we're missing some detail. We don't know anything that's going to be in the tax package yet. One thing we do know, Mitch McConnell wrote a piece in Roll Call, had a line about a week ago and said, it looks like we're not going to get to tax reform until the beginning of next year, maybe with 60 votes. So that's the new news that I know, and so maybe that's why the president is reaching out to Democrats. But that leaves us at a loss because we don't know what target we're aiming at. We hope we're still aiming at the president's original tax plan, which roughly speaking had, 15% corporate rate and then take care of S-corps, individuals, right, repatriation. And we hope that on the upper income side, I don't know the details. Maybe he's in a little talks and negotiation there with Democrats. But the breaking news is, again, after the face plant on Obamacare, the Republicans don't have 51 votes in the Senate. it'll be very hard to pick up a few Democrats for reconciliation, right, to vote with only Republicans. So then you're looking at 60, and you're looking at Schumer being in charge of part of our tax plan. I don't think that's going to go so well.
So that sticks in your craw a little bit. I can understand where you're coming from, but maybe the president was doing the math and thinking of the health care thing and thinking, this will almost assuredly get me Democratic votes, maybe put me appreciably over 60 votes in the Senate, and I don't have to worry about satisfying guys like Dave Pratt. What do you think?
Well, I don't. It's not about me. It's about the country, and it's about our economic growth rate.
But it is about the plan that you guys are coming up with, not you individually, sir, but Kevin Brady and House Ways and Means, that included across-the-board cuts, including taking the top rate down from 39.6 to 35%. I believe that had gone so far as to the leadership in both houses, and now that is left out. Now that might go a long way to getting Democratic support. It might also go a long way to making these, I guess, whatever they call revenue neutral. Would you be okay with that in the end?
If that's part of a compromise to get tax reform through, I can compromise, but I'll tell you where I can't compromise is on the corporate rate and the S-Corp. The Democrats like jobs, but when it comes to tax policy, they don't like employers. And they don't seem to see that you have to incentivize the supply side, the business creators, businesses, in order to get productivity growth and raise
tax
wage
rates.
rates.
Even if you brought them up 50% or up, I think I know what you're intimating there, that small businesses generally pay at the individual rate. Their rate would still stay high, I guess, by that definition, and so they're not getting a break by your math.
Right, and so all that weighs in. The key is economic growth, right? That's why we're doing tax cuts, is to get the economy primed again. If you grow at 3%, it helps on the debt. It helps take away all this political anxiety. It solves every problem. It gets you health care, gets you income in your pocket. So that's what we got to get at. It can't become political. It can't just become we're going to appease different groups and piece together a piecemeal. That will not result in economic growth.
But it might result in a deal, and it might not be the deal that you wanted, and it might just reflect the president's frustration with dealing with you and your colleagues. Is this I don't know, a sort of a stick it to them to Republicans?
Well, I think the president is rightly upset with the product coming out of the Senate, right? They did a face plant on a skinny bill. It wasn't even policy. They couldn't even get a vote through.
But remember what he said about your plan, that it was mean as well. So.
Yeah, I know. That wasn't helpful either. But hopefully on this one, he wants to go big. He's always said from the beginning, go big. So if we got to make a little wrinkle at the top adjustment, we'll see how that goes. But I hope he's still going big. And he's got to send us the target to aim for. We want to get this through for him. We're all on his side. We want President Trump's tax plan that he ran on. And we had Steve Moore was over here today, and a bunch of the other
I don't think they
tax
anticipated a lot of this. A lot of those guys did. And I'm just wondering now if you feel or there's a frustration among some of the conservatives because the president might be saying, well, where else are these guys going to go?
No, I don't think he's going that far. I mean, he's just saying, look, I'm going to cover my bases and try to get some Democrat votes, too. That's the way I see it.
And it looks like he's got that, right? I think it's safe to say he's got that.
Yeah, he's got a few, but we'll see if he can get up to that 60 threshold. That'll be tough because it also assumes you're going to have 52 Republicans, and I don't know if he's got them. And so it all depends on what's in the package, and that's what we're obviously dying to see.
He might not need the 52 Republicans at this point. He could easily get 15 to 20 Democrats, right?
Yeah, and just as a detail for the wonks out there, right, our Republican package was scored to be revenue neutral. So that sounds boring, but we don't have money built into our tax package, our budget resolution package, to provide for major league tax cuts. And so Steve Moore and some of the president's team, they're encouraging us to take a look at that to make sure, right, because we lost the border adjustable piece as a pay for. So now to get the rates down to a point where we're going to generate economic growth, we got some heavy lifting to do in the next few weeks.
All right. And not a lot of time, to your point, to do it. Dave Brett, thank you, my friend. Very good seeing you.
You bet. Thanks, Neil.
All right. The mayor of Miami Beach on what's going on in his neck of the woods. I don't think he's too focused on tax cuts for the time being. Something more urgent, something more pressing, something more, well, life and death-ish after this.
Tennis training has evolved in really weird ways. Just ask the Bryan brothers. The Izod Performance Stretch Chino with Sportflex expandable waistband.
This is a story about mail and packages, and it's also a story about people. And while we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, we never forget that your business is our business. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
I'm not 22 anymore, but my drive to compete, to win, is as strong as ever. Glucosamine and chondroitin just aren't enough. Only Synedrin contains Immunodrin, a powerful omega-5 combined with a complete formulation of proven and natural joint health ingredients that support my overall joint health and mobility. Synedrin helped me regain my competitive edge, and it'll work for you too.
Buy one, get one free this week only at Walgreens.
Repeal, restart? Inside the GOP's latest shot at Obamacare. Plus, the campaign that won't go away. Why Democrats are dreading Hillary's new book on the story.
Identity theft can happen to anyone.
My savings account and my checking accounts were both drained. All of my money was gone.
I could not believe that somebody would steal my tax refund. It made me angry.
She had my social security number, and she was able to make a purchase for $8,000.
Today's technology makes identity theft easier and easier. If you use a smartphone, shop online, use public Wi-Fi, or fill out forms or applications, you're at risk. There's a new victim of identity fraud every 2 seconds. 1 in 4 people have already experienced it. Is there anything you can do about it?
I called LifeLock.
Millions of people have already become members. LifeLock's proprietary technology scans hundreds of millions of transactions each second to spot threats to your identity. If we detect your information being used, you get an alert. If you have a problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it. And you'll be covered by LifeLock's $1 million protection package, including lawyers and experts if needed, and reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan.
You have this whole team of people on your side, and you know that you don't have to go it alone.
And unlike free credit monitoring that just monitors your credit, LifeLock detects and works to fix identity theft.
LifeLock, they're not just going to monitor your credit, they're going to be there to help you afterwards if something happens.
Join today for as low as $9.99 per month and get 60 days risk-free with promo code LL60. LifeLock members get identity threat detection and alerts, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration agent assigned to your case, and you'll be covered by LifeLock's $1 million protection package. Start your membership today. Enroll in minutes.
Having LifeLock, we didn't feel like victims anymore.
LifeLock. Call 1-800-261-9150 or visit lifelock60.com. Use promo code LL60 to get your 60 days risk-free and a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
All right, I want to clarify. We were supposed to have the Miami Beach mayor on joining us, Philip Levine. We've had him on several times throughout this hurricane, before, during, and since. But he was called out to an emergency meeting. No surprise there, and we certainly understand. We hope to re-effort and get him back on tomorrow. In the meantime, keeping you up to speed on some of these developments in Florida. It's gotten to be a kind of a tricky place, not only if you're out of power, but if you're concerned about looting. Police have been arresting dozens for doing just that after Irma, with some of them using sledgehammers to break into Florida businesses, and that's just the start of it. Police are ramping up patrols to combat some of this looting as Florida residents return to their homes and try to deal with it themselves. The fear of looting is one of the reasons why my next guest is sleeping with a gun. Michelle Darris of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, joins me now on the phone. Michelle, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing okay. Look, we didn't lose power, but because we were holed up inside during the hurricane, we were able to find out that there was looting going on across the way from where we live in the country club. One teen was shot, another one in custody, because the residents were able to see by surveillance that these teens were breaking into their home during the hurricane.
Wow.
And as you
was
know,
yours broken into, Michelle?
No, thank God, but it was an awful feeling to be in. Actually, I wasn't in my home. I didn't want to be alone, but I never slept wondering whether I'm going to go back to a home that has been destroyed by looters.
So you were concerned enough to stay where you were, where you are now, because damage notwithstanding, you didn't want any more trouble, right?
Exactly. My very close friend's son's car was stolen while he was, keeping shelter in his home. They come in with flatbeds into gated communities because they lift the gate in these communities so that people can get in and out and get their shutters up. And while they're being holed up, people are coming in with flatbeds, stealing their cars. I've got friends whose generators were stolen.
Oh my gosh.
They're stifling triple-digit heat, these people, with pets that are, 2 pets have died that I know of. My business partner had to get out of Fisher Island, which is also only accessible through a ferry. She had a mandatory evacuation. She was price gouged with her dog so that, when she got on a flight out of here, and she can't get back in. It's a lot worse than what they're saying, and we didn't even receive a direct hit.
But Michelle, can any authorities get in there to protect you folks, or is it inaccessible, hard to get to, and they have other priorities? What?
Well, part of the problem is the curfews.
Yeah.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, and people are now starting to get crazy because they can't get the supplies they need. They can't get food. The volunteers are working overtime. The elderly people, which is another story which you've been airing. It's just awful, and unfortunately, things like this bring out the best in people, but they also bring out the worst. And some of us are just sitting ducks with the opportunity for these people to come in and take what they want, make them just take whatever they want.
Is it quieter now, Michelle? I know you mentioned you sleeping with a gun. I mean, have you heard anything of the last 24 hours, or are things calming down?
Things are calming down. Luckily for me, I live in a pretty secure suburb of Fort Lauderdale. Our gates are back up. I just feel so bad for the people that still have no power. And, I've tried to extend my home to as many people as possible, but people don't want to leave their home. They don't want to leave. So they're suffering. You hang in there, Michelle, and to your neighbors as well. It's this flip side of a story we don't hear too much about. They still have problems there. Don't forget that. More to this.
When you have type 2 diabetes, there's a moment of truth. And now with Victoza, a better moment of proof. Victoza lowers my A1C and blood sugar better than the leading branded pill, which didn't get me to my goal.
Lowers my A1C better than the leading branded injectable, the one I used to take. Victoza lowers blood sugar in 3 ways.
And while it isn't for weight loss, Victoza may help you lose some weight.
Non-insulin Victoza comes in a pen and is taken once a day.
Victoza is not recommended as the first medication to treat diabetes and is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Victoza if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Victoza or any of its ingredients. Stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, or if you develop any allergic symptoms including itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. So stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right away if you have severe pain in your stomach area. Tell your doctor your medical history. Taking Victoza with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. The most common side effects are headache, nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting. Side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
Now's the time for a better moment of proof. Ask your doctor about Victoza.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need cash? You need to know about the New Day 100 Home Loan for Veterans. It lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, not just 80%. And that can mean a lot more money for you and your family. With our military service, veterans like us have earned a valuable VA benefit, the right to apply for a VA home loan. The New Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgages, consolidate your credit card debt, put cash in the bank, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. And New Day will even pay your appraisal fee. That could save you up to $500 or more. So call New Day USA. They look at your whole financial picture, not just your credit score. And they'll do everything they possibly can to get you approved. Call them today and get the financial peace of mind every veteran deserves.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-855-419-8331.
You love your freedom, but is joint pain holding you back? Unlike other creams, Joint Flex helps strengthen joints and gives quick and long-lasting pain relief. Flex your freedom with Joint Flex.
She's the no-nonsense personality you know and love. Now, get a rare look at the life of Judge Judy. Plus,
You a feminist?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Catch the premiere of Objectified, Judge Judy, this Sunday on Fox News Channel.
Just send the money. Save the lecture. You know, I commend celebrities last night for pitching together to help those devastated by storms in Texas and Florida in a spectacular star-studded telethon. But I thought it was called hand in hand and not hand with a finger. You're there to help. You're not there to hurt. That goes for you too, Stevie Wonder, when you kicked off the show saying that anyone who believes that there's no such thing as global warming must be blind or unintelligent. Did you really think that maybe some of the people you're ostensibly trying to help are of that opinion? Are they blind? And given the fact that both Texas and Florida went for Donald Trump, of whom you're clearly not a fan, does that make them unintelligent? Talk about biting the hand you say you want to feed. Leaving aside, we've gone through, a dozen years without anything approaching the severity of these storms. Could you focus on raising some change and not lecture anyone about climate change? You're mocking a lot of the very folks you claim you want to help. So help them. Don't preach them. All I know is that they're at a loss because everything they have is gone. Why can't you just shut up then and help? And in your case, Beyonce, why can't you just sing? You know, God gave you a beautiful voice. Save the not-so-beautiful lecture. Spare the snide asides about watching violence and racism in this country. Focus on how maybe these tragedies and neighbor helping neighbor spoke to the better angels in this country. Doesn't look like a lot of racists there. You're doing good. You're raising millions. Leave it at that and only that. And most, from Justin Timberlake and Julia Roberts to Ray Romano and Bryan Cranston, they did that. Now, I don't know their politics. I don't care. But I thought this night wasn't really about politics. I thought it was about people, people helping people. I thought wrong. Never mind, we haven't seen anything like these back-to-back storms, like I said, in over a decade. There's old Beyonce linking climate change to a monsoon in India and an earthquake in Mexico that even some climate changers, well, thought was a bit of a stretch. No matter, in the end of the opening telethon, a good haul, better than $44 million. I hope and trust it gets to the people intended, people who need the help. They don't need the sermon, and not from all in Hollywood, just some, and not from all those listening and watching. I suspect barely any. I'm betting that most of the folks who were sending in money, they didn't send lectures with their checks, just their signature. They want to help, not harangue. Lend a hand, not shove a finger. Many can't sing, they can't act, but they don't need a script to play a part. Most of them just get in a boat or knock on a door to see if there's anything at all they can do. Sometimes they don't have to say a thing, but their quiet decency is deafening. You see, Hollywood, that is the thing about goodness. Sometimes it speaks the loudest when it's not speaking at all. Good night.
Hurricane Irma dissolved days ago, but the storm has not stopped killing people. The latest victims, seniors in a nursing home, unable to fend for themselves when the power went out and the lights went off. We'll also take you to Jacksonville, a major metropolitan area facing some very dangerous flooding. And it could be days before the threat is gone as water flows down rain-swollen rivers. In Washington, House Speaker Paul Ryan meeting with the Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi at this hour, talking immigration and a possible plan to protect the dreamers whose parents brought them to this country when they were kids. Plus, the White House with a strong accusation against the former FBI Director James Comey. That's all ahead in this hour of Shepard Smith reporting. I'm Trace Gallagher in for Shepard Smith. Irma is gone from Florida, but people there are still facing deadly conditions. Police say at least 8 patients from a nursing home in Hollywood, Florida are dead, apparently because of sweltering heat. officers evacuated at least 115 people from the building north of Miami, which lost power in the storm and had no air conditioning. Police say they have opened a criminal investigation, and today rescue crews from several towns in the area started going door to door in 95-degree heat to check on elderly people and hand out food and water. The mayor of Hollywood, Florida, urging people across the state to do the same. Watch.
Be mindful of the continued hot temperatures in Florida that followed this hurricane, Hurricane Irma. We have temperatures reaching 95 degrees, as you can see as we stand here today. I'd really like, again, to implore upon everyone in Florida to check up on your neighbors, elderly, and do what you can to make sure everybody's okay.
Meantime, investigators say at least 5 people died and more than a dozen others hurt after breathing carbon monoxide fumes from generators. It happened in Orlando, in Miami, and the Daytona Beach areas. Firefighters telling people to keep generators outside. Irma also caused extensive flooding along the coast of both Georgia and South Carolina. Charleston had one of the worst storm surges in 8 decades. Utility officials say hundreds of thousands of people still without power in parts of Georgia and South Carolina. Of course, the hardest hit area appears to be the Florida Keys. Utility officials say some people there might be without power or drinking water for a month, maybe more. People have started going back to their homes in the Upper Keys despite limits to access and basic necessities like water, electricity. Crews working to repair the only highway that connects the islands. The Lower Keys are still closed to residents. A woman who says she moved to the island of Isla Medora just over a month ago says her home is completely destroyed.
This is what I expected, unfortunately, after everything I saw on the news. Last week, everything was perfect. Now we just have some picking up to do and start over again. You gotta remain strong. I'm alive.
Yeah, the storm made its first U.S. landfall in Cudjoe Key as a Category 4 hurricane. That's where Matt Finn is live for us now. Matt.
Trace, we did a little bit of a tour of the damage here in the Keys, leaving Miami and driving 100 miles south here to Cudjoe Key. And as you could see, this trailer park really wiped out by Irma. Some trailers still standing, others obliterated. It seems here in the Keys, the destruction starts to get real bad around Marathon, Florida. Boats piled up, tossed around like toys, trailer parks destroyed. There's rotting food and garbage, a foul odor. We spoke to one man who fought tears. He just returned from Florida and was describing what he saw. Here's more of what he had to say.
Never seen anything like this. No.
Talk to me about that.
We come here every day. After the boats come in fishing and such, all our friends. We don't even know where half of them are. It's just terrible. Never seen a storm of this magnitude. When you hear 185 mile an hour winds, this just says to somebody, you got to go. And look what, thank God we did.
In Marathon, Florida, there's also a sign-in sheet for people who stayed here to sign in and let loved ones know they're doing okay. Also a sign-in sheet for boats that have been recovered. Right now, authorities still have roadblocks here, not letting residents into certain parts, saying it's just too dangerous. And Trace, it is just miserable for people who would be returning here. There's no electricity, limited food, and high heat right now. Trace?
Yeah, you talk about the electricity being out, Matt, and the roads being closed. I know a lot of people are kind of relying on their cell service. What's it like there right now?
There's next to no cell service down here, Trace. In Marathon, we were getting a little reception from AT&T, nothing from Verizon. We have a cellular phone that we're able to use, but otherwise minimal connectivity down here in the Keys, Trace.
Matt Finn live for us in Cudjoe Key. Matt, thank you. Irma made its second U.S. landfall on Marco Island, Florida. One woman there told our local Fox station parts of the island look like a, quote, war zone with trees snapped just like toothpicks. Emergency responders are now working to restore power and bring back gas and other supplies to the island. Mike Tobin is live for us on Marco Island. Mike.
And Trace, you've got this remarkable phenomenon where people applaud for the power crews as they drive by. I can show you the work that's taking place right now. Pretty typical of the work all across the state. The tree guys show up first. This is Trees Incorporated. They get all the brush out of the way. You can see in this case they're clearing away a tree that knocked down this power line. So they come in first. These guys are just about to wrap up. As soon as they get the debris out of the way enough so the power crew can go to work, the power crew is expected. In this case, Lee County Power is going to show up at this location. And you've got so many people starting to lose their patience, frankly, with the absence of power. But they may have to be patient for a little while longer, because you heard that announcement from Florida Power and Light yesterday. It could be until the 22nd until the lights turn on again. Trace?
Mike, the power's out, so what about supplies? How are they holding up there?
Gasoline is very scarce and very important to the people out here. You've got this remarkable phenomenon where anytime a gas station has fuel in the tank, a big line forms up. It stretches about a quarter mile. It looks like people are looking at their apps, and they find out which gas stations have some gas in the tank. They flock there. As soon as that tank runs dry, they flock to another location. And some of the people don't have enough gas, they tell us, to even wait in line. So they've just got to walk to the grocery store, get the supplies they can, and tough it out without any air conditioning. Trace?
Yeah, tough it out indeed. Mike Tobin live for us on Marco Island. Mike, thank you. Irma hitting Jacksonville with its worst flooding in more than 150 years, according to officials there. And forecasters say it will continue to threaten the city for days to come. People who live in Jacksonville say the intensity of the flooding took them totally by surprise, and they have never seen anything like it. Now, meteorologists say even more flooding could hit the city because the storm waters from the Carolinas, well, they all have to move south. Rick Leventhal is live for us in St. Augustine, Florida. He's just south of Jacksonville. Rick, beach erosion is another big issue there, right?
Remarkable, Trace. We're on North Beach, also known as Volano Beach. This area hit very hard by Hurricane Matthew a year ago. A lot of homeowners had to do a lot of work to shore up their beachfront homes. They have a lot more work to do. This is a lot worse. Look at the house right next to us that has come down onto the beach. There are dozens of homes like this up and down the coastline that are either completely destroyed, knocked down onto the beach, or teetering on the edge with their pilings exposed, and they're in grave